Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Just thought I would pop in and talk to you about what's going on in the planets and the stars. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for January 22nd, 2020. So we are here at 22, this power number of where Saturn and Pluto sat together for 8 days this January. Now is the last day of them together for 3 days at 23 degrees. So we've talked about the Saturn Pluto conjunction being so epic and so huge as far as generational game-changing energies on our planet, and yet being right in the middle of it happening, we have no idea what's going on. And so 22 is a powerful number. It's a gateway number. It's a master builder number. It's about building something completely new and different. And yet 2 and 2 make 4, in numerology when we add it up. And 4 has 4 walls. It speaks to a structure. So it's kind of like a new structure. But that Saturn and Pluto at 22 degrees was definitely speaking to the old structure and intense feeling of squeezing and intensity and karma. And I think that the bigger picture of this might have to do with showing us the old structure, right? Because it's kind of like, well, how can we break free of the old structure if we don't really get it, And so in order to build a new structure, we've got to reevaluate. Now, Pluto doesn't want to fixer-upper, right? Pluto says, let's demo that stuff and start over. And perhaps that's where we're at here in this time, this moment, as Saturn and Pluto are completing their conjunction. They won't come back together for another 35 years. So it's epic astrology, big changes in our world that we won't see right away, and yet we feel the intensity of it, especially if you're a sensitive soul. But here, now that the sun is in Aquarius and there's a little bit of a lightening of that Capricorn energy. I mean, Capricorn can feel like it's exactly that 4-wall feeling as trapped in structure. And with Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and then we had, we had all of our personal planets in Capricorn, and it's like, whoa, it's like the weight of a mountain coming down on us, of reality, of truth, of facing the music, and really intense, and yet a powerful opportunity in seeing more clearly what we need to break down to move into the future. And that does feel like that's what this Saturn Pluto is about. It's like, okay, we've got to go forward now. And what does that require? So some really powerful messages coming in, and a big shift of energy with Mercury and the sun now in Aquarius, kind of being like, hey, yeah, that energy is intense, but it's not forever. But it feels like it. We've been stuck in this, like yesterday's video was talking about, like for thousands and thousands of years and lifetimes, we've been stuck in this loop, kind of like reins on our spiritual evolution, holding us back from who we really are, holding us back from our birthright of our joy, our evolution, our moving forward, which is the truth of the cosmos. Right? And yet we've been here just like treading water, trying to survive. And all of these powerful, amazing, just incredibly talented, spiritually evolved souls here on this planet, trapped, being like, I thought I came here for something, but nobody's really interested in that. And what in the heck am I doing here? So, we are here for something, and we're getting little inklings now of this kind of new energy. It's like, yes, if you look, you pay attention, there are showers of stars trying to talk to us, speak to us, reconnect us back to who we are, and support us on this journey out of the darkness and into the light. So really powerful messages, because we've been feeling yesterday exact was Venus in trine to the North Node, and we'll be feeling that through this up until this new moon on Friday. And Venus in trine to the North Node is speaking to moving forward, because the North Node is like, how are we going to get to where we're going? And the North Node in Cancer says we've got to nurture ourselves. We've got to let ourselves receive and be nurtured and feel safe and held and loved and nurtured by this world, which is really opposite of how most of us have felt here. We're like persecuted and, in these lifetimes of what we've gone through, these types of souls to be here on the earth right now. And so it's quite a change of direction to allow ourselves to be nurtured and supported in our experience. And it's like we've got to do some deep cellular reprogramming. Also, that reprogramming has to do with our ancestral energies, collective trauma that's stored in our DNA, just belief systems about what this planetary evolution is about. It's about trauma and catastrophe. No, that's a lie. That's just lies we bought into, and the past stories that keep us in the loop. And so these souls are like trying to move mountains, which is maybe that's the deal with this Capricorn energy. It's like moving the mountains, waking up the mountains. We know that our physical world, the material world, our physical experience isn't actually physical, right? So we can move mountains. But it's a lot to try to move these heavy programs, and people are, so attached to these, this really to the illusion of separation. It's kept us from really connecting to our planet, from connecting to the nurturing that's available, connecting to the greater forces outside of the matrix that do want to support us and do support us. And now we're getting little glimpses of that possibility, and it changes everything as we move forward. So that Venus trine the North Node, really, really sweet. Like, let's go ahead and change this program. And it starts right here with us, and there's a lot of messages here about love and what love really is as the source of all in the universe, what we're made of. And this, as we move into this new moon, because Venus, our planet of love, it's our planet of what we love, what we care about, what makes us feel good, what's attractive to us. It's our relational love. And yet Venus is coming into a conjunction with Neptune just after this new moon, and will be close for this new moon. And so we're looking at Neptune is the collective consciousness, that bigger spiritual energy that's, of course, has been used to control us as well. But with Venus and Neptune together, it's about a higher love. And Venus is making just incredible transits with all of these planets all at one time. And again, it's similar to what happened during that very powerful total solar eclipse that happened in December, the day after Christmas, that we had this beautiful energy of like all these planets lining up in sextile, like the next sign over or two signs over. And that same thing is happening right now as we move into this new moon. And so this means that Venus is going to, right now, we're feeling Venus in sextile to Jupiter in Capricorn, and then it semi-sextile to Mercury in Aquarius, and squared up with Mars in Sagittarius, and then conjunct with Neptune. That means all of those planets will also make those relationships with Neptune as well right after this new moon. And with Venus involved in all of this, and then coming right out of this trine with the North Node, it's like just some very powerful messages on this new moon in Aquarius that happens at 4 degrees, which is exactly in a semi-sextile to that total solar eclipse. So it's like exactly one sign over at 4 degrees, kind of activating that eclipse energy for us, saying that this is, the story continues. And this is maybe where we get some very powerful messages. Now, the other thing that's going on, besides all this Venus stuff, is that the sun is now in Aquarius, meaning it's in square to Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius. And so the sun is who we think we are, kind of our identity, our role we're playing here. And that's getting really rearranged because Uranus is like, it can be sudden, unexpected change. It's kind of got an energy of the lightning bolt of awareness coming in, synchronicities, connection to your higher self, messages, and those messages, the energies, the message that's coming in around these messages is that it's not who you thought you were, and it's very disorienting. And so we're kind of clueless here in that same feeling of like the train in the roundhouse. Here we go round and round, and nobody knows where we're going or what we're doing, and nobody knows who in the heck they are anymore. But if that's how it is for you right now, that means you're on the page, you're doing it right, So this also, what's happening is that right now for the next 3 weeks, Chiron in Aries is an exact semi-sextile to Uranus and Taurus, so one sign apart, and that's a really powerful energy because Chiron in Aries is the self-empowerment, releasing the wounds of where we haven't been able to be who we are in our wider truth, all these lifetimes of having to hide and run from whoever, whatever, and be persecuted and all that. And it's time to stand up and say, nope, I'm going to be here on the earth, and I'm going to be here fully and completely. And then in semi-sextile to Uranus and Taurus, that's these new energies, the future, the Aquarian Age, trying to infuse into our physical world higher vibrational frequencies. And so those two energies together are speaking about, where we're at and what we're doing in the role of moving forward into this next chapter. And then Venus has got a powerful message for us about what this Saturn Pluto has been about. And so Venus, this planet of love, but coming into connection with Neptune, that higher universal oneness consciousness, in square with Mars and Sagittarius, that's like love is how we get back on our quest, or love is the quest, right? And then in sextile to Jupiter and Capricorn is expanding our possibilities of breaking chains with authority contracts and breaking free, which is exactly that Chiron and Aries energy too. And so it's like love is how we break free. And then in semi-sextile to Mercury in Aquarius, it's that love is the answer, as Mercury is like our mind and how we're trying to figure it out, make sense of it. And then connection with Neptune means the love we're talking about is higher love, like the source of all. This is what we're made of. This is our truth. This is this vibrational frequency of love, which I think I would equate with another word that comes to mind is just joy. This is our natural birthright, but part of the deal with the lower matrix is keeping us below, keeping us in the glass ceiling in a quarantine, not able to access that, not able to access the power that we have within us to heal our bodies, the power that we have, our consciousness that can create just the perfect climate on our planet. We are being completely invalidated continually and held in guilt and shame. And that is so not true to who we are. But then we need to look at this love. If we're like, okay, love is the answer. Love is how we move forward. Love is the quest, then we have to look at what we mean by this love. And of course, this universal love. And we look back to the 60s, it's like, oh, free love. And like, that's very beautiful energy on some level. But love in where we're at right now means boundaries. Love means taking care of yourself. Love means stopping. Okay, so compassion is another word that would really fit this Venus-Neptune energy together, which is such a beautiful energy. But it's like you can't have compassion for anything in this world unless you have self-compassion first. And so it's like we can't really work with this energy of universal love until we learn boundaries and we learn how to take care of ourselves. Because if we're leaking out, we have this access to this incredible energy, and yet we don't feel good enough about ourselves to own it and work with it. So we're leaking it out to the energies around us that are becoming more and more unconscious and more, like it's like the more the energies, it's like we're in this strange divergent time where so many souls are awakening, and most souls are going back to sleep, right? Or to sleep, or getting programmed more, or whatever mind control feels like. And so we have to be vigilant, and we have to say yes to this energy. And yet, yes, I will honor this energy and build a temple for this energy, and hold this as sacred, and have those boundaries so that we can come into the power that we're our natural birthright, and begin to work on this higher paradigm together. And so this new moon in Aquarius, with all of these transits, incredibly potent and powerful messages here, that this new world we're building is built on love, with love. And that's who we are. And that's what we're made of. And so I hope you have a wonderful new moon in Aquarius. And Chinese New Year starts the next day, the year of the rat. Very potent and powerful messages there for us. And maybe you would like to join for the new moon activation that's happening at the leading up to the exact time of the new moon. That's this Friday, January 24th at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 1 p.m. Pacific, and that's 4 p.m. on the East Coast of the US. And so I hope to see you there, or on the next update real soon. And I hope you have a wonderful new moon in Aquarius and Chinese New Year, and may you have a glimpse of a shower of lucky stars shining into your life, reminding you of who you really are and what you're really here for as we move into this new chapter together. So I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.